Hey guys, it's DVS and I was playing Wildstar today, and I was particularly playing the tank, and uh, from what I was saying a few videos ago, if you've watched my previous videos, I was talking about how the tank was going to be one of the main raid healers, which I still, not healers, tanks. The warrior is going to be one of the main raid tanks, and after playing the patch and really playing both DPS and tank side of the warrior, I don't think they haven't really fixed them at all during this patch, and I'm a little bit worried because we're getting closer and closer to the release date, and nothing is really coming through for the Warrior. I don't know if they have to completely rework him. I don't know if they have to really tweak up his ratios. Um, I don't know. I was a little bit kind of disappointed because I was really hoping that when this patch was coming out, it would really get the Warrior to where it should be. Because right now, the Engineer is by far the better tank. As of right now, for what I've seen. And even when I was playing the DPS, it's was kind of lacking. I did have to experiment with the abilities, get the most amount of damage, and you want your Relentless Strike because that's pretty much your auto attack right there. With the Augmented Blade Dot, which increases the damage by a heck of a lot. And then your Power Strike, because Power Strike you're going to get the maximum of DPS is right over your Power Strike. And just even with that simple rotation, it was really falling behind. Like, you know, Spell Slingers and Espers are by default going to do more damage, but if an NG tank can do more damage than a DPS warrior, set up to do so, uh, that's kind of sad because that means even as the warrior's DPS is still doing less damage as an NG tank would, or even if it's a little bit more than the NG tank, still an NG tank shouldn't even come close to a DPS because if you're a tank, you're a tank. Now, yeah, you could be a DPS tank, but at the same time, if you're a tank, you're a tank. You shouldn't be doing as that much damage. So I don't know what's going to happen. I've been really experimenting and kind of I'm just gonna get it up here so you guys can see it. So by the way, this is a great website if you want to see everything, scope through it, do some theory crafting. It has the amps and everything. It is the ws-base.com. Awesome site. So yeah, I usually go Menacing Strike. I think it's yes. Let me get the amps so I can get it. Just boom, boom, boom. Just click on random stuff. Yes, this is what I do. I go Menacing Strike to Bolstering Strike, and because this is on a 4-second cooldown, it not only does a lot of damage, but it also restores my health, and that's perfect every 4 seconds. So you're always going to maintain that buffer. Then I go Jolt, then Plasma Wall. Now, usually what I do is that, it's usually these two that I'm kind of like mashing. But the Jolt is nice because if your boss, mob, whatever it is that is placing an ability that's very like the telegraph is kind of like right on the target that you're attacking, well, you can just roll out and use your Jolt. And the Jolt is pretty good range, 15 meters, and it does a lot of damage, especially if you're cycling this. It does a lot of damage, because it's going to get that full connect stack bonus, and it generates threat at the same time, so you're not losing threat. Now, the plasma wall, I haven't been using it religiously. I find the plasma wall works better on a group of mobs than a boss. Boss-wise, it's okay. You do get that damage reduction, but I like for a boss fight, I wouldn't have that. It's damage reduction, you always need damage reduction, but it hinders you because not only do you have the plasma wall out, like you can't dodge, you pretty much have to walk. It's just a hindrance more than it is, so I wouldn't take it out because the majority of the time that you're going to use it maybe be like 2 times in a whole boss fight. But what I would use instead of that is this, the polarity field. Now, basically you shoot it out, like launches right in front of you, hits the target and follows the target, and it just does constant threat generation and damage. This is beautiful. Like, just keep on casting this when it's up, because it's like double the threat generation basically when this is on a mob. It's really nice. Lasts for 10 seconds. It has a cooldown of 15, so you can pretty much have a 5-second window before you can recast it. It's really, really good. Now, what else am I using? No, I haven't used the atomic spear. If you had an off tank, an NG off tank, so you got those deflection stacks from the NG, this would be perfect, but I haven't been noticing a lot of deflection from my warrior. I do definitely get deflection, but not enough to make it completely viable. I don't know if I get deflection every 10 seconds. I may have to retry this out, test it more. If I could get deflection every 10 seconds, this is worth it. But I'd have to test it out more. It would depend, because on a boss fight, less likely for the proc to get the full amount of it, like to have it completely come up then use it. I don't know, I'd have to test it. It might work on some. It might be one of those skills where you have to switch in and out, or it would depend on your setup. If you had an NG that had blunder stacks constantly, this is perfect. But yeah, that's mainly what I use. Usually that's how I tier it out. Sometimes I'll have it in Jolt depending on how I like it. I like to finick it. I'm pretty finicky with my stuff. Now, what I usually do is that for this 5th slot, I always put the emergency reserves, because if you're clicking or button mashing, I kind of like it's against your keybinds. It's all how your keybinds are set up. You could have this as F or whatever, but I really liking this. I like this as like an oh shit, like if you're really depending on this emergency reserve, you can hit it and you instantly get an interrupt armor and a shield. Now that's really nice, but at the same time, this is way more effective. But if you have to back off, you can use this. I usually always use this when it comes around. But I don't. It's awesome. It's effective. But honestly, I don't want to say it's not viable, but you really don't need it a lot of the time, is what I'm trying to say, because when it's active, all the damage goes straight to your shields, which is pretty awesome. But the only time this is really useful is when you get super low on health. And you activate this, so all the damage... Basically, this is designed to be used when you're really low health, so that all the damage goes straight to your shields. But I've used it. I like it. I always have it on me. But at level 20 right now, I'm not getting the most effectiveness out of it. If I could get to that tier 4 ability and increase my my outgoing healing, that'd be really nice. Oh wait, outgoing healing. Huh? I'm missing something. Anyway, I'll keep moving on. Now, Plasma Blast is a must. It's basically a nice taunt, reduces damage on others, multiple mobs, very good. I like going with Grapple. Grapple is also very, very, very good. Nice thing about Grapple is that if you are getting aggro on a mob because you are melee, and you have 2 other mobs that are kind of like a little bit of your melee range, use Grapple, get them within range. Now, the 4th one is... sorry, not the 4th one. The last slot, it's really up to you. Right now, we can only use this much in the beta, but this is level 20. This is like a level 20 build. If you go anywhere past level 20, you get to level 50, you have all of this. Like, if I were to make a level 50 build, I would have my shield burst for sure. I would probably have, yes, expulsion because of the cleanses. I would have defense grid, maybe switch it off with unstable force. Yeah. But yeah, this is level 20. Level 20 build. But this is a really good tank setup. But it's lacking. NG is just way better. For how much you have to freaking butt mash to get this versus a boss. I think the NG is a lot easier. Maybe a bit more effective too. Oh no. I like Warrior Tank though. You can do it. You can do it. It's just the NG is more effective. There's nothing wrong with Warrior Tanks. It's just that you can tell, like when you're playing it, you'll notice that it is lacking, just a bit. Yeah. Also, the amp abilities are kind of like. I was looking at the amps for the Warriors. Another thing they really have to change, like holy crap. So I was looking at the amps, and I was like, okay, what does the Warrior have in his support utility? And I was thinking, okay, he must have, some like damage stacks and a lot of mitigations and stuff like that. But let me show you. I think, yeah, this is the damage mitigation one. And if you look at every single other one, there's nothing else that reduces damage. Nothing else. But this one, to the pain, taking damage will kill you, instead restores 1,363% of health, but drains 136.3% health every 1 second for 15 seconds. Can only occur every 5 minutes. This is beautiful. I think, you know what, for not having the OP tier 2 amps that the NG has, that makes it. Because basically, if you're just about to die, this kicks in, gives you a massive amount of health, and you completely drain that health back. So the amount of health that this gives you depletes a tenth of it every second. So basically, when To the Pain kicks in, your healer has to get on top of you, or you have to put a potion down as soon as you can. Maybe wait for this to deplete a bit so the potion's worth it, so you get the max heal out of it. But yeah, this is a very key item for the warrior. While above 50% shield, gain a defense increase. While above. Oh yes. This is really nice too. This is a tier 3. See, what I'm noticing is that NG has really good tier 2, so it has very early access to really good amps. But the warrior has really good tier 3s, which he kind of gets access to a lot later, just because I think right now you can only get these at level 30, because at level 20 you'd have something like this, then 2 more, and you need to unlock 6. So yeah, level 24 you could get one of these. That's quite early. You know what? That's half level cap. That's really good actually. But yeah, people really complain about the warrior right now. I know it's not really there. Do I think they need to change anything? No, because for this to be more further tested on, we need to be able to get to level 50. And by looking at how that these amps that just make the warrior really good, we can't get to yet. So would I like to see the early tanking version / DPS version of the warrior buffed? Hell yeah, for the early levels, for people in beta. Do I think it's necessary at this moment in time? Hell no. We need further testing, we need higher level access, and we really need to think about what we're saying, because if the engineer has everything available to him early and everybody's saying he's OP, but the warrior has everything available to him late and it's super OP, well, people's idea right now is going to be like, okay, I'll roll NG, NG's perfect, NG's just completely a boss at level 20, but down the line, once you get the max level, they're going to be like, oh crap, now Warrior is pretty much a sleeper character, and he's a super OP tank at max level. That's what I'm thinking, So before anybody can judge on what they're going to start with first, all I have to say is keep your ears open, watch Twitch, watch those level 20 raids, and judge for yourself. Really judge for yourself, because I'm going to run Warrior for sure. Just through kind of the theory crafting that I've been doing and the streams I've been watching. And I've been watching some Warrior tanks with this one group that usually streams all the time. And I have to say, pretty solid. I know every good tank has a really good healer, but man, they are solid. Solid, solid, solid. Oh, this is perfect too. Oh, so good. Causes foes have a... Yes, this is what I'm talking about, the blunder stacks. This is what I'm talking about. You get the tier 8th, basically right to here. This is when you can start using where is it? Where are you? This more effectively, your atomic spear. Because it increases your deflection chance, and even look, increased deflection chance by 4% once it's tier 8 as well. So, like, I would like to see this used a lot more, but it's because it's early level. Once again, it's early level. We don't have access to everything. We can't really judge right now. So, my end conclusion, because it's going on for a bit, let's see how long it's been going on for. Wow, okay. I gotta end it now. In conclusion, don't be trashing the tank right now, because we have not experienced the full, we haven't gotten the full story basically of the tank, because no one's really gotten to level 50 besides the people that have been in the closed beta. So can't trash the tank now. We have lots more to see once the game goes live. For all we know now is that NG is better on early levels, Warrior's lacking on early levels. But from seeing the theory crafting and seeing the Twitch streams, Warrior's taking the cake right now for tanking in those raids. So yep, I'm DVS This is DVS Gaming. I was talking to you about Wildstar, and good night.